As you scale out the number of accounts inside of your Nats system, you're inevitably going to run into the problem of what it looks like to share data between these accounts, because in Nats, accounts are isolated by default, which is a really good property because it means we can have a truly multi-tenant system. But we need a way for different accounts to be able to share data between themselves, whether they be a microservice, a stream, or a feed of data. And so we solve this in Synadia Cloud and Synadia Platform with the imports and exports, or the sharing tab. And so if you have multiple accounts and you need to share data between them, this is the place to go. Today, I'm going to outline how to set up an import and export for various resources and what it looks like to have this kind of two-way binding of sharing between accounts. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. We're going to start with the service export. And so I'm on my WidgetCo account where I've created a math service. I even created a stream. And so we're going to utilize those to export various things and import them into another account. So I'm going to click the export service button over here. And I'm just going to call the name of this service math. And I'm just going to say math.greater-than. This was a microservice that we just created using our user's video previously. But all you really need to know is, as you're exporting a service, that this is going to be a way for us to share this service between other accounts, as well as kind of monitor its usage from those accounts. We have some advanced metadata that you could set, but we don't need to bother with that right now. We also have some service options, like is this a single response service or a multiple response service, or is it chunked? Most of the time, we're just going to keep it single. We can also track metrics for this particular service, so we can toggle this on or off, and you can set the sample rate to whatever you want. For the most part, 100 is going to be totally fine, unless it's a really high throughput service, and in that case, you might want to set a sample rate of requests to sample for metrics monitoring. So we can also take a look at our visibility. Now, this is important when it comes to sharing because you're sharing in the context of all the accounts that you own for your team. And so a private export is going to make you set explicit links of which accounts this particular service is shared with, while a public export can be imported by any account inside of your larger team for this system. And so that's worth kind of keeping in mind. Let's start with private for now, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And then it's going to bring up another panel, which allows me to choose which accounts I want to share this private export with. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the another team account, because that's the only other team inside of this Synadia Cloud account that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and hit add account. And what that's going to do is it's going to essentially put together a share request for that team, which they can go in and import the service at will whenever they want. It's important to note that service imports and exports, they are two ways, right? So you need to export a service, but it also needs to be imported by that team. We want full delegation and control of those teams, because we don't know who might be on the other side. Maybe it's just you, but maybe it could be a whole other team that has their own security policies. And so let's go ahead and jump into this another team with a link over here. And I could jump quickly into service imports and say create import available service. And this is going to show all of the publicly available but also privately shared services with me. Now, this isn't imported into my account already. I actually have to hit this import button. And this is going to kick off a process that allows me to import this math service. So I can rename this service whatever I want, just for tracking purposes. We know it's coming from the WidgetCo account. But the other thing that I can really do is I can filter this subject further. Maybe I just want math.add to be imported here. And since they've exported math.greater-than, I could reasonably do this and not break the rules here. But for now, I can say I want math.greater-than. The second thing that I could do is I could change the actual local subject and how it's going to be mapped onto my account. So maybe I want to call this math service dot greater than. And so when I call this in my account, I'm going to be using the math service subject instead of math. This is a way to kind of avoid collisions, or also just kind of adapt imports to your particular naming scheme inside of your account. We know that there's different semantics that map over between different accounts. And so we want to make sure that you can, do what you need to be able to manage your imports and exports well. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And now that math service is available for me to use inside of my account. So I'm making a cross-account call to this math service, and it's actually going to be the widget co-service that is going to be responding, which is really, really neat. And so that's kind of a high-level overview of how service imports and exports work. Let's go ahead and try our hand at doing this with a stream. I'm going to go back over to widget co since we know we have some streams here. I'm going to hit sharing, and I'm going to hit streams, and I'm going to export a stream. Now this one's pretty simple. I can just simply select a stream, and we know all of our streams because we're managing Jetstream here. So I'm going to hit the heartbeat stream that we created. And this time I'm going to do a public export, meaning I'm not going to be choosing any accounts explicitly that I'm sharing this with, but any accounts within my own team scope inside of Synadia Cloud are going to be able to import this. So I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to go back over to the another team, hit sharing, imports streams, and you could see that Heartbeats is available to me already. This is because I had a previous import, but let's walk through the setup of what that would look like. So I'm going to say create import, import available streams, and you can see that we can import the Heartbeats stream because this is a public import, and we can list multiple of them here because you can, presumably have a lot of kind of public imports between all of the teams inside of your organization. So I can hit import and mirror, and not only is this going to import this stream, but it's also going to set up a mirror inside of my account, which can actually be really, really useful. And so I haven't created the mirror yet, but it kind of gave me a nice, template to set this up. It already called it Heartbeats Mirror. Description is a mirror of heartbeats, and we're mapping an external stream here, which is really nice via an import. And so if I'm all good, maybe I'll set replicas to 1 just to make it nice and easy for me. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And this is going to create a mirror of that Heartbeats stream. And you can see all of the messages have caught up automatically. So this is a really, really nice way to do kind of sharing of streams in a very safe way, because since these are going to be consumed via mirrors, we don't necessarily have to worry too much about, hey, how does sourcing and permissions work all across streams? We're just easily doing a mirror of that imported stream. So it's really, really nice. All right, back over to sharing on our widget co account. Let's go over the last kind of form of sharing, which is feeds. Now, feeds are not streams in the sense that they're, Jetstream streams, but if you have a subject that you want somebody to be able to subscribe to and you want to be able to share that across streams, across accounts, you can use the export feed mechanism. And so maybe I have like a stock ticker. I'm going to call this stock ticker. And I'm just going to call this like ticker.star or ticker.greater than, and I can share this again as a public or private. I'm going to go ahead and make this a public, so it's publicly available for everybody. And anybody who imports this can just simply subscribe on this subject and get the data that I'm sending over the wire, which is really, really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my other team, go to sharing, and I'm going to import a feed. And you can see that my ticker feed is available. I'm just going to go ahead and import. I'm not going to remap any subjects. I'm just going to keep it as ticker and hit save. And now any of my clients inside my another team account can get access to this ticker. So as you can see, this is a really powerful mechanism for just easily sharing things between accounts without having to mess with the NSC tools or pushing things to NAT servers or anything like that. And it really creates a really kind of like delegative flow between all of these accounts where folks can look at what's available for them to import, and you can have a lot of control over who you're sharing your data with, who you want to revoke sharing data with, et cetera, et cetera. So if you need to share data between your accounts inside of Synadia Cloud or Synadia Platform or just on your NATS system in general, this is the place to go and do it. Go ahead and try it out. It's actually pretty fun and easy to do. So in the next video, we will cover how to connect a remote system into Synadia Cloud and Synadia Platform.